Welcome back, everybody, to Cartoon Conversations, where your sexy, beautiful hosts, Elliot Katch and Jordan Stein, will caress your earlobes with our beautiful voices.
Well, at least your beautiful voice. I can't promise mine. I had set the shop. So, our big question for the day is, could we rewrite this episode from Amanda Waller's perspective? Because this is the first time we see Amanda Waller, and Elliot and I are in total agreement about her being...
What do you mean this is first time we've seen Amanda Waller?
This is the first time we've really explored Amanda Waller, I should say. She has been in a previous episode. But this is the first time we've really explored her character. And the more I see of her, the more interested I am in her. Especially now that I'm an adult and I don't just see her as a brilliant villain, but as a real person who's got some very good points.
I do really enjoy the fact that she totally talked down Batman, you know? It was like, you have a giant laser up in the sky, you know?
Yeah.
What do you expect?
Which is not like the biggest threat the Justice League has, like really. But, continuing on.
Yes.
To understand this episode, I think you're going to need a bit of a lowdown on something that happened in Justice League, the Justice Lord saga.
Lords.
Elliot's going to give you the rundown on that.
Yes. Okay, so back in the other season, the other show, technically, there was a certain episode where the main cast were transported to an alternate dimension, where we had alternate superheroes, pretty much, called the Justice Lords. Now, why they were called the Justice Lords is a bit interesting. Not because of, this is just how they're named. It was pretty much because they were the lords of the world. What happened was, Lex Luthor had become full-on president, ends up killing the Flash, and Batman gets... No, not Batman. Superman goes nuts. Superman ends up KOing Lex Luthor, killing, murder, destroy, smithered, smashed, rips his heart out or something. Kills Lex Luthor, which is his one thing that he never does, and then, goes nuts with power. He absolutely takes over and anoints himself and pretty much the rest of the Justice League as gods.
Yeah. And the whole point of that is because of the Flash, they're able to... The current Justice League is able to resist the temptation. And at the end of it, they team up with Lex Luthor to finally defeat the Justice Lords. So...
Excuse me.
It's a very good episode. I highly recommend watching that. But it also causes the government to think, hey, what would happen if our Justice League went rogue? And the results, I tell you, are not pretty. And we'll find them out in today's episode. You have anything else you want to add before we start the episode breakdown, Elliot?
Holy shit!
Yeah, the Justice League versus the government would probably be a pretty quick fight.
Yeah, pretty much. They had quite a bit to say as to why the Justice League are not exactly seen as the good guys to the Americans.
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest, I think they have a good point. And that's why we're going to try and rewrite this episode from Amanda Waller's perspective and make her the hero of the story. And to be honest, I don't think we're really going to have to do too much except add some ominous music when the Justice League comes in and some... Seriously, reverse the Star Wars music here on them, give them the Empire. Give the Justice League the Empire and the Cadmus, the Rebel songs, and you pretty much have it here. But we're going to go through it for you. So, we open on a classic colonial-style mansion. Amanda Waller wakes up at 4:30, exactly, and watches her security cameras. Morning. Paranoid much? So, she makes coffee using a futuristic Keurig. Basically, they didn't know the Keurig was going to exist 5 years from when they made this, so they basically predicted the Keurig.
The Keurig.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
Superman's got it going on. Or all these writers have it going on.
So, she watches the news, which says the Justice League is helping a country, I think it's San Vaquero, deal with a volcano eruption. Amanda Waller gets her car ready and starts her meeting an hour early because she is that prepared.
She is so goddamn in control.
So, if she was supposed to be the hero, I think there's only a couple tweaks I would make. One, I think her watching the security cameras makes her seem a little bit paranoid.
Well,
I might perhaps have it be a security briefing, or maybe have her show a little bit of fear, like there's a legitimate reason she should be worried.
I don't know. I mean, like, she's just that much in control.
You might be right. Maybe that's nitpicky.
She has to do it because she's at the very top, you know?
Yeah.
She is the top. She's in so much control.
And when you don't have superpowers, you know, you gotta be careful. So, and I love how she starts her meeting an hour early.
Yeah, she's just like, I can pretty much control all of this.
And just expects her underlings to also be available at 4:35 to schedule a meeting an hour early. I love that. She's so driven. It's so fantastic. And the great thing about her is that she's this, like, overweight, middle-aged woman. And yet she's by far the most terrifying...
Oh my god, right, yeah.
Terrifying villain of the whole series. It just throws all the expectations out the window. And, what is it? In that DC card game you have, she's actually, like, you know, young and she's got guns. And I always thought she was much less threatening that way. Because it kind of takes away from Amanda Waller to need a gun.
Yeah,
she's
she
so
doesn't
powerful.
need a gun.
Yeah, she's so powerful, she has 12 ways to kill you before she gets out of bed. And none of them involve her getting out of bed.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So.
It does, like, you know, making her action commando, it does kind of, you know, it does take away a little bit from the main drive of her, is that she's so controlling, that's all she needs.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly.
It's like, oh, you know, she's going around with a gun. She's got to shoot people because that's what she needs. No, she talks her way out of literally everything.
There's no situation where anything breaks her nerve. She'll stand down Batman, Superman, the entire Justice League. She's just such a fantastic villain. And most of all, she does it because she thinks she's right.
Right.
She has a believer's belief in her... she has a believer's faith in herself and in her cause. And that's what makes her such a great character.
Her cowls.
Yes. We also find out that Lex Luthor's running for president.
Oh, yeah. I was just about to ask that.
So...
you know, like, hey, you might be forgetting that 1 point thing that happened.
So, this is kind of a cool touch, because they didn't really need to add it yet. It's not going to come up for a couple episodes. But if you watch the series, it's something you're like, oh wait, didn't the Justice Lords happen because Luthor became president? So that's a great little Easter egg about where they're going. And if you didn't watch it, you're like, oh, okay, cool, look, Luthor's running for president. That's a nice storyline. So, I really like how they put that in there.
I still don't really understand how he can run for president. Like, don't everybody know that he's got cancer and that shit?
Yeah, but it's in remission.
Well, nobody really knows that. I mean, he was just having this whole thing about
I think he just has to say, I improved the technology, you don't have to worry. He's Lex Luthor. If Lex Luthor says he has invented a machine that will make me live to 197, I will start planning to my retirement accounts so I can live to 197.
I don't know. I feel like it's a little odd to have him do that, especially before. Although we understand very clearly that it all leads to something special.
Yeah.
I mean, like him being running for president at this time, and the fact that he has, you know, cancer. I just feel like those don't really add up together. Although, you know, it pays off. Like, yo.
Yep.
I'm just like, you can't just say nothing after I molest the ears of all of our listeners.
No, sorry. I thought you had one more thing to say. Sorry.
Oh, no. I just led the and that's it.
So, okay. So, she walks to the shower, and as she passes each television from the first scene, her security cameras are to play on, they go out. And this is another just really great bit of storyboarding. Because if you kind of know where it's going, you're like, oh, this is awesome, the tension is building. And if you don't get it, it just looked kind of badass. That as she goes by, the TVs turn off. It like, you could almost put it as like something she plans, like.
Right.
So, that's really cool. So, she goes into the shower, and, you know, we flicker out so we don't see her nude. And then we flicker back in as she's reaching for her towel. Batman, we see a familiar gloved hand it to her. She grabs it, brings it into the shower, and then realizes what it means. That something.
Stranger danger.
Yes. In your bathroom, stranger danger is a real thing.
Yeah, that's kind of terrifying, actually, but she makes through with it.
She rushes to see what's behind the curtain and finds Batman, who says,
"We need to talk."
Yeah. And now, we hit the credits.
Bum, bum, bum. Wicked guitar solo.
Yeah. This was pretty badass.
Totally happened.
So
Batman literally, I mean, just like, think about it. She's right now the main villain. Like, Lex Luthor is a side note. We saw Lex Luthor getting, you know, like, pistol whipped pretty much with the bad baby slip. And Amanda Waller is literally it. She is the culmination right now. She stared down Superman and Batman and Aquaman, and all she did was yell at Batman. And right now, what are we seeing? We're seeing one of the main characters doing a home invasion of the big bad guy.
Yeah. I think you don't even have to do anything to make her the hero of this.
Oh my God.
Her home's invaded. She is the hero of this.
Well, actually, that wasn't what I was going with, actually.
Oh, yeah?
I was going with the fact that, you know, when can you say that's ever happened?
No, I don't think Batman's ever felt threatened enough by any threat that he
Not even just that. Okay. When can you ever say when the main villain and one of the main good guys have just been so close together in one instance? Like, they're in her home talking normally. And she's the main bad guy.
The Justice League defended Lex Luthor in an early episode.
Except he wasn't the bad guy.
He wasn't.
He was the whipping boy.
You're right. Yeah, certainly without it not being part of an evil plan. I don't think that's ever happened. This is a really interesting storyline, and I love the respect between Batman and Amanda Waller, because Batman doesn't say, "Hello, I'm here." He hands her a towel and expects her to understand that something is wrong because the towel wasn't in place. That is a lot of respect for her intelligence and deductive reasoning while she's in a shower.
I like that because, you know, you usually see them in like a gag situation. You usually see them take the towel, wipe themselves off, and then realize something wrong. No, she grips the towel and is like, wait.
Yeah, she instantly gets it. So impressive. 2, they don't play it off as a joke at all. You're right. It usually would be a joke. But the fact that they play it serious here shows a lot of respect for the story they're telling. And I really like that. Like, I mean, I love a good joke. God knows, I love a good joke.
God knows, we love stupid shit that makes us laugh.
Yeah. But that they played it serious here was really the right note, and I love it.
Right.
So,
well, I mean, like, definitely. You're literally having a battle of the minds right now. Both of these people have no powers. Batman is not going to threaten. You know Batman's not going to threaten her with violence.
Yeah. She's above violence in a really beautiful way. In a beautiful, violent way. I don't know. So, we pick up at the end of the cold open with no time has passed, which kind of felt like this should be part of the cold open, but the "it's time we're talked" was so perfect. I guess they had to end it there and cut it up. So, Batman gives her resume. It is very impressive. I think the least impressive thing he said there was Rhodes Scholar. And when that's the least impressive thing on your resume, you're going places, girl. So she points out, yes, I am, in fact, know that I am impressive. I also, in my wonderful impressiveness, know your secret identity. He replies that he knows what she's doing, and they don't want, and she doesn't want that to come out, so that they're stalemated. That he can't do anything to her, she can't do anything to him. He rattles off various illegal activities, and she explains why. And this is, I would say, the mission statement for Cadmus. Would you think that's right?
What? Repeat that? I'm so sorry.
What she's about to say about why Cadmus exists. That this is kind of Cadmus's mission statement. Like when she talks to a congressman, this is what she says.
That's what you were referring to. Yeah.
She says, do you know what the Justice League had to do to get Lex Luthor's pardon? Superman had to tell them about the Justice Lords. So the government ran simulations to find out what would happen if the Justice League went rogue.
Oh my god.
And the government lost every time.
Every time. I love how she says that. It's not even like she's trying to, in a situation like that, you maybe want to sugarcoat some of that shit because of the fact that you don't want to feel like you're going to be completely obliterated.
Most people would be intimidated by Batman and would you're right, they would hedge their bets so as not to offend him. She just goes for the frickin' jugular. Yeah,
no, because, she knows, man. She knows that she has to. She's got to lay it on the line, and I love that. She's like, we lose every time. And so you know why I'm doing this shit right here.
Yeah.
I know what's on the line. I know what's at stake. We are not going to win this.
So, and she says, with Cadmus, the government can defend itself against the Justice League attack, especially now that they're the Justice League Unlimited. So, and what's really cool about this is such a great example of game theory. So, the Justice League does something to get bigger for an unrelated reason. The government thinks it's about them, so they build up. And then the Justice League builds up because they think Cadmus is building up is about them, but really it's just about defending themselves. And then the Cadmus sees the Justice League building up, so they build up. And the only way to basically get around game theory and stop that being a positive reinforcing cycle which leads to destruction is you've got two solutions. Basically, mutually assured destruction, in which you basically get so powerful neither of you are willing to do anything, but continue to get stronger as sort of like a game of chicken.
Stalemate, in a way.
See the Cold War, yeah. Basically the Cold War. And two,
that's terrifying.
You can basically hash it out and talk like men. Or people, I should say.
That very rarely...
which is what Batman is, to his credit, trying to do right here. As much as we're trying to do this from Amanda Waller's perspective, Batman is honestly trying to have a conversation here.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually kind of what's happening, if you think about it. I mean, he tries to be intimidating in certain cases because he knows, he has to be.
You gotta be strong with Amanda Waller, or she will walk all over you.
You gotta play with every single one of your guns. You gotta bring out the big cards, man. You gotta take that royal flush that you've been hiding under the table this entire time because your friend's been making some weird ass bets about whatever, and then you throw it down, and they're like, "God damn it! I put $100 on this."
Yes.
I think the takeaway was don't play poker with me, but still, you still have to just keep going with it,
So yeah, she does that, and that's the two things, and I think they both have different solutions to this problem. Amanda Waller wants to go the mutually assured destruction route.
Right.
And Batman wants to do the talk it out like people.
I feel like because Amanda Waller, she did the time, she did the crunching, and she knows that this could be her only way.
Yeah.
Or this has to be her only way.
You can see why she goes with mutually assured destruction.
Yeah. Because what else do they have?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely the better option from her perspective, whereas Batman, he's trying to get them to disarm, so without any intention of disarming himself.
Yeah, right? I mean, he's got to have, 8 watchtowers up there, Wayne Corp?
Eight watchtowers. Wayne Corp's talking about.
Well, they say, what was it? In the next episode, they call them, subsidiary watchtowers or something.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, no, they call them, small base watchtowers or something.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, she knows... So So Batman says if you're a threat to the world, the Justice League will take you out. And Amanda Waller just loses it. Like, she had kept her cool before.
Yeah.
And normally,
He's angry.
you know, when a character kind of loses it, it makes you think less of them. But this makes me love Amanda Waller more. That she's not power hungry. I mean, she's ambitious. She wants power, certainly. But she really believes she's making the world a better place. In many ways, she's as idealistic as a young 18-year-old who's excited to cast his first vote for Bernie Sanders.
That was a little specific.
I don't know. That's a current event.
Bright-eyed.
I'm
18-year-old constantly talking about on Facebook about how Hillary Clinton is pretty much Hitler, and Bernie Sanders is the one true God.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah,
Oh, Hillary.
Literally in all cases, I don't care who wins Democrat vote, just as long as none of the Republicans make it. Like, I don't care. Hillary or Bernie, whoever wins, whatever. Just none of the Republicans can make it. Like, oh my god.
Well, after
Trump
this, I was going to ask if you wanted to volunteer with Hillary for me, but I guess that's a no then.
I mean, I'd totally volunteer with Hillary. I mean, like, I'd rather Bernie win because of, you know, he's promising the sun and everything, but I would love for him to keep good on those promises. Regardless, back to the cartoon
talk about it later. Okay,
yeah.
so it's just such a great character moment. And it really shows this great literary concept that if you can listen to your story, you know more about this than me, but it's called Everyone's a Hero of Their Own Tale.
Aww.
And it's just great writing that when you make it so every character has their own motivations and every person thinks they're the good guy of the story.
It's such a good tool to explain a character. Because, I mean, nowadays you have so much cliche bad guy shit where, like, oh, darkness and, oh, the void and, oh, you know, these guys just want to kill everybody. Give them, like, an understandable reason to do so. Like, you know, this guy's life was shit and he's really trying to change the world. Or, you know, these people are doing it because, like, what was it? One of them in the Pokemon, spoiler alert, in the Pokemon manga, one of the characters was trying to steal Jirachi so he can go back in time and save a bunch of Lapras that he let die. No. And, like, it was so sad. But, you know, you realize you can't let him do this because he was fucking up a lot of stuff. But, like, after you find out what he was doing it for, you're like, aw, now I can kind of relate.
The best villains are heroes who got carried away.
Are their own heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that is great. Thank you for doing that. That's better than I could have explained it.
Yeah, well, that's what I do.
So, she says...
Explain things that no one really needs to know.
No, I think everyone should know. Everybody's the hero of their own tale.
All the people.
I'm currently writing a song that's a cover of that song from... this joke failed. So... You know, it's everybody's the hero of their own tale.
I'm sure we could make something like
that.
You
and you, but mostly me.
That's a good one, alright? Keep going.
So, it's from Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. I can't remember what the real words are.
Oh.
So. Oh, it's Everyone's a Hero in Their Own Way is the original. That's what the song is called. So. They're protecting people... In her view, they're protecting people from a giant space army with a space laser that's the equivalent of a small nuclear weapon.
Yes.
So yeah. Who's the good guy again? So, and she makes a good point. And I think Batman acknowledges that when he walks out. He's like, okay, well, you know, I tried to get it to talk out, tried to get this to end, but it failed, and we'll go the mutually assured destruction route. And just be very careful not to offend them. So, after he walks out, and after he leaves, Amanda Waller presses the alarm with a shaking hand. That is such a good scene, because one, it gives her vulnerability. I don't even need to make any changes here to make her the hero of the story.
You know, I thought it was out of, like, fury. I actually gotta go look that up. I'm gonna go back to see what it was, because I thought she was just enraged when she was doing it.
Huh.
she was just like so mad that she couldn't really control herself. Here, let me go. Oh, you can go. Keep talking. I'm just gonna go and like real quick.
So I saw fear there, that she finally let herself be afraid a little bit that somebody broke into her house.
Yes.
Which is a very disturbing thing, and it's to her credit that I think she feels a little fear. And like I said, I don't think I would change a single thing in this scene, except those little nitpicks I had in the beginning to make Amanda Waller the hero. I think she comes off brilliantly in this opening scene. What do you think?
Yeah, no, she was angry. Oh, wait, maybe she wasn't. No, she was scared. Yeah, okay. She looks at the phone and...
She's kind of surprised she's scared.
Yeah, maybe she's surprised. She didn't realize it. Like, she's like, wow,
This is what fear's like. I don't miss it. Hopefully it'll be another 10 years before I feel it. Now back to work. So. Okay.
Yes?
So the next scene is really differently shot from what we normally get. The 7 original members of the Justice League who are kind of a steering committee of the Justice League Unlimited are discussing Batman's findings about Cadmus, as the directors of Cadmus discuss their own matters, and as they do it, the screen sort of swirls dizzyingly around them, comparing the two meetings. And the Cadmus meeting is very stark and very competitive. Everyone seems to be pitted against each other in a sort of cruel way. Whereas the Justice League meetings, there's anger, the same anger, but it's dealt with a lot more constructively. So, what is it? On the Justice League meeting, the Flash thinks it's all okay because he's there.
Oh yeah, I love that line because it's so typical Flash, It's just happy-go-lucky. It's like, don't worry, guys, I'm still alive. You don't have anything to fear about. And everyone turns to him, and it's just like, that literally made me feel even worse because all I can imagine now is you dying.
Yeah. Although I will say, Martian Manhunter is very tactful about shooting him down.
Right.
About what was really a stupid idea. So, they wonder where the money's coming from because, Superman has access to the U.S. budget because it's a publicly available document, and he's read it because he's Superman.
Right.
And he knows that there's no money for it. So, they think it might be Luthor, but they don't have any proof, and, even Luthor can't afford that without doing some serious hiding of the money, which usually leaves some tracks. Batman puts the question on it, and the other Justice League members go, really? That guy? But we, and Batman, know from Question Authority and Fearful Symmetry that this was a good decision. So that's kind of a cool bit of dramatic irony. Things that we know, but they don't. So.
Yes.
Alright, and now we cut to the Cadmus department heads.
I love this scene. Oh my god, just the juxtaposition between the conversations they're having and showing just not juxtaposition, I guess.
No, that's what it is. It's juxtaposition.
Is it juxtaposition? I always forget that term.
The two almost directly. I mean, it's not, I guess juxtaposition is you're putting them on top of each other. But you're practically doing that from a film standpoint.
Yeah, they're all sitting around in a circle, all expressing what the situation means to them and what their actions are going to be.
Yeah. And the fact that it swirls the whole time.
Yeah.
And they're not all in view, and the swirl continues during the Cadmus meeting, you almost spun off from the Justice League meeting straight into the Cadmus meeting. It really gives it sort of a continuity, and it really shows them as mirrors of each other. It's so cool. So, at the Cadmus meeting, they're firing one of the department heads, who is head of, animal superpower research. So, he fantasizes about killing them all, but instead goes away meekly.
Oh my god, holy shit! They just showed us where a man lost his shit at his workplace and gunned down everyone in his mind.
I can't believe they did that post-Columbine.
Oh my god.
Like,
I
I'm
can't
so
believe they
shocked.
did that in a cartoon.
Yeah, I
He
can't believe that got past the
blasts
censors.
and it just like goes red. And like, I totally thought he killed everyone when I was a kid.
And they cut to commercial after that.
Did they?
They did.
I don't remember them cutting. I think they didn't. I think they wouldn't because they would show you immediately that they weren't, that it was all in his head.
I thought they cut to commercial after that. I have it written down they did, but I could be wrong.
I wouldn't know because I haven't looked it up. I just remember as a kid freaking the fuck out.
I mean, I was watching it on Netflix, so the screen just went black and stayed there for a second, and that's usually what means commercial break.
Oh, I situated, or what is it? I assumed that was just the like realization that was happening. Like it was letting the watcher let it sink in. Like oh my god, but then it flicks back in. You know, it's like this didn't happen because like if you let it rest for too long, like if the commercial lets you think about it for too long and then it just says like, oh wait, you know, it wasn't a thing, it kind of gives you a sense of disappointment instead of it just telling you immediately that it wasn't real.
I think it'd be better without the commercial break. I think you're right.
Yeah.
So they probably didn't make a commercial break there. That was probably just me misreading that cue from Netflix. So he actually goes away meekly after all. But he doesn't go away truly. He goes to Doomsday. And he explains Doomsday's backstory, in case you didn't know it. And he tries to get... we now find out his name is Dr. Milo. And he tries to set Doomsday on Amanda Waller, because he's not brave enough to do it himself. So, he sets Doomsday loose, who thanks him by killing him.
Yep.
This episode is seriously dark.
Yep.
And then he goes to kill Superman.
I like the fact that Doomsday has boots.
Yeah.
That's
he has
the
no
thing
other
that
pieces of clothing, but he has boots.
He has boots.
He wouldn't want to scratch his super-powered, indestructible feet.
I really do enjoy what he said before. He's like, you know, you can fix my problem, I'll fix your problem. And he goes over and grabs his freaking head, and he's like, I'm going to fix your problem. There you go.
That was dark. That was seriously dark. That could not be on TV today.
You no longer have a problem.
Demographic.
I don't know. They have a lot of, like, crazy, almost close to murdering things in Young Justice. And,
that ain't an older demographic, though. Young Justice was an older show. Young Justice was...
Well, I mean, so is this, if you think about it.
This is older than your average cartoon. But it's still not as old as Young Justice. Young Justice is another 3 or 4 years older than that.
I feel like you can have dark situations. Like, I mean, in Steven Universe, they had an episode where...
But that's not a kid show. That's an adult show.
Steven Universe?
Animated, I thought.
Steven Universe?
Yeah?
It's a kid show.
Huh? Oh, Steven Universe. Sorry, I was thinking of Rick and Morty.
Oh, no.
So, yeah. They also have a really dark scene where they see basically Doomsday being tortured.
Yeah.
As his conditioning, he is repeatedly subjected to abuse, verbal, mental, scientifically calibrated to make him go insane. That was really dark. That might be the darkest moment of the whole series. Even more so than the whole Justice Lords part.
I mean, like, the systematic... I feel like it wasn't so... the fact that they showed it happen after they just showed Doomsday tricking that guy and killing him made it a bit easier to take in because you understand that, you know, he's a bad guy. Even though they created him and tortured him, so he couldn't have been anything but a bad guy, you know, because of them.
He's... You know, I'm just thinking now, he's a great counterpoint to Amanda Waller. He's an kind of unthinking and boring villain. If he was the main villain of this, this episode would suck. I mean, he's really nothing more than a bullet.
I understand that, but the way that he talks, he definitely has like a cold, kind of calculating mind. He formulates well-deserved thoughts now. Yeah. He like, you know, the way he talks to Superman, the way he talked to the other guy, he paused for a moment.
But for all his intelligence, he really isn't anything more than a bullet. That he can.
I know, yeah. His power is having so much power. His power is just brute force, which I love. I mean, he's pretty much the Hulk, or actually, he's pretty much Red Hulk. Yeah, he's pretty much Red Hulk. He's just got, so much crazy brute force, and he has the one solid goal of killing Superman, really. But he sort of understands it. I mean, like, later on he said, "You're Superman, and I must kill Superman, and that's who I am, so that's what I'm going to do." It was very philosophical, honestly.
Oddly zen.
Yeah, it was really zen, really smart.
It's
you
like
are
an
who you
answer
are,
retort.
so you're going to do what you're going to do.
It's like an answer retort where Axel gets
Yeah.
reverse nirvana.
Oh
where
my god.
he achieves a perfect zen state through murder. So he gains godly powers, just like Buddha, except evil.
I'm sure we've
Sorry, any Buddhists who
didn't we
stumble on this.
commercialize Paranatural before? We're gonna commercialize another one if it's still on the internet. Actually, Answer Retort, because the guy stopped doing it. It's really funny. It's like a Big Brother thing, or like everybody living in a house. What do they call that?
It was like a Big Brother. It was like a parody of reality shows.
Yeah. Like the reality
Big
show.
Brother with a murderous psychopath.
It's all Kingdom Hearts
heartless
characters,
politician.
except they're completely fucked up, and it's really funny.
And various
It's really
other
clever, too.
psychopaths.
Yeah.
It's funny. So. Okay. So, we go to a volcano where the Justice League is saving people. Hawk is running people out of there and whatnot, So Superman is in the volcano. He's trying to stop it from erupting, which is just... It's so awesome. He's just like digging holes in a volcano. Because that's what he does.
Yep. Just chilling out.
Just chilling out.
There's
His homie's
clearly a
molten
purpose
rock
to
and
him
lava.
punching the crap out of this volcano.
Yeah. I said his homie's molten rock and lava. So, then Doomsday comes in to kill Superman. They fight, with Doomsday winning. Superman tries to talk him out of it, but Doomsday has no purpose but to kill Superman. So, Hardcastle, who is the general, basically the Cadmus board has Amanda Waller as its head. Dr. Hamilton from Fearful Symmetry, with Power Girl, basically, as his head. Dr. Hugo Strange as head of psychological warfare. They've got a magic user whose name is briefly escaping me.
I forget who she is, but she's like...
She's going to come up later. I don't want to spoil
Yeah.
She's actually an important character going forward.
She also doesn't wear shoes.
Yep. And they have General Hardcastle, who is the military wing of Cadmus. He did some very high-tech anti-Superman experiments.
General Softfort.
And this is the point, I think, where you would have to make some changes. I think you could even do the part where they fire Dr. Milo, because Milo turns out to be more evil than Amanda Waller. So you can make Amanda Waller the hero and still have her firing Milo so brutally. Because, she kind of has a point. He destroyed his lab. He was getting no results. Fair. So, Hardcastle is pretty happy about Doomsday's plans.
Oh my god, yeah.
He wants Superman dead. Had to get rid of Doomsday at some point.
And this place is kind of in the shitter, so, why don't we just wipe it off the face of the earth?
That comes later.
Oh, right.
But Amanda Waller sees a bigger picture. She knows that after Doomsday kills Superman, the next step is very bad for humanity. And this is where she really shines as a hero, I think. Because she sees the bigger picture.
Right.
And she does what's right. She tells him to stop Doomsday. And now, if you're going to make her the hero, I think this is where you have to divert a bit. that either you need to make Hardcastle less evil, or you need to make Amanda Waller
more prominent or something?
You need to say, I'm going to deal with this personally because you're too incompetent. Something like that. I think you would have to have one of those two things happen. And make it... And the first one... and Amanda Waller taking it personally, you'd have to do it a storyline about her having to make compromises to deal with evil people like Hardcastle.
Right.
Because the threat is so great. Kind of like when the Justice League teamed up with Lex Luthor.
Right.
And if you're going to go the making Hardcastle less evil route, well, that's kind of obvious. So.
Right. I feel like because of what we see in her and understanding that the casualties or the ends don't always justify the means.
Yeah.
We see a very human side to that. Although, in all reality, we didn't really know much about her except for the fact that she was very easily she didn't really care much about, what happened to, whatchamacallums. That we saw to the Ultramen. That's what.
Yeah.
Or the Ultramen, whatever.
Yep.
We saw her understanding them like as property, but that really could have just been the outward appearance that she gave.
Yeah.
That and the fact that they are clones. They're not real people. They're not actual humans. They're tools.
I think you could make an argument that if you let the Ultramen break down and then you put their memories in there back in the new bodies, it would be ethical as long as they were aware of the situation. And it would be like they never broke down.
Whatever is the goddamn,
You could do something like the Prestige. With the Ultramen and make it ethical, I think. So, I think you could rewrite that if you wanted to make her the hero. So, and I kind of wish they had made her less evil in that episode. So, General Hardcastle deals with the situation, like Amanda Waller ordered him to, by sending a nuke at the island.
Yes.
The Justice League is evacuating the island, while Superman is fighting Doomsday. Wonder Woman wants to help, but Superman, in just a beautiful Superman-ish moment, says no, continue the evacuation. And you just love Superman so much.
Oh,
Well, I love Boy Scout Superman.
I love in this scene that he's just like sitting in lava, pretty much.
Yeah.
When he fights Doomsday, and he just kind of walks around in lava. Like, he can be indestructible, but his cape is currently dipping in lava.
Yeah, his cape is made of his baby blankets when he was from Krypton. So
right, and his baby blanket is absolutely, completely invulnerable.
It's kryptonite. It's kryptonite. If it's gonna hurt him, it's gonna hurt.
It wouldn't be kryptonite, because if it was kryptonite, then...
No, I didn't mean to say it's of Krypton, so it's just as strong as him. If anything, it's probably stronger, because it's stronger than skin, like a thick blanket is stronger than your skin.
Whatever, it's being dipped in lava, there we go.
So, continuing on. Wonder Woman... wants to help, but Superman says continue the evacuation. Martian Manhunter and Batman are monitoring the situation. And then they see the missile, which is a nuke, with kryptonite in it. And they can't stop it from the Watchtower. So cut to Amanda Waller on her computer. She gets a call on her personal line to the president. And it's Batman.
I love that. She so quickly is like, yes, Mr. President, what is it?
Yeah. And it's friggin' Batman.
I love that. And it's Batman. And she's like, how did you get this number?
And she's probably scared for the second time that day.
She's so mad. I love that. She's just like freaking out and ripping into him.
Yeah. And that fear, I think, does her character credit. Once again, I would change nothing there. So, they see the missile. Which is a nuke with kryptonite. Batman calls Amanda Waller, and she's surprised, but doesn't let it go. She says, "You do what you have to do, and I'll do what I have to do." And then she goes onto Hardcastle, and she rounds onto him with the fury of 1,000 hells. I would not want to be him right there. So, Batman realizes that she didn't know. And he goes to stop it personally because he knows that Amanda Waller would always have a failsafe. But something Amanda Waller doesn't know about, probably won't. Because she would shut it down. She wouldn't do that. He trusts her in a way he doesn't trust the people around her.
Shut it down.
So, he goes into a javelin, dives straight at the Earth.
Oh my god.
Using the Earth's rotation to speed him around.
Oh my god. Like, oh.
So,
rock hard at this moment. He's running through the bay, through like the cargo bay or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, everyone, get out now!
Yeah.
Doesn't care whether or not they move an inch. He just, oh my god. He's like, I don't give a shit. I'm leaving now.
So, he goes to the javelin. He dives into the Earth's atmosphere from space.
Space!
Catches up to the missile. Tries to blow it up, but it's got reflector shields. Basically, reflector shields.
Reflector shields.
And he goes, okay, I've got to come in personally. I'm going to use the javelin to take this missile out. At great personal risk. So he goes, he lets this in, and at the last second he pulls out, just in time, saving his own life. And getting grievously injured in the process, because he was probably going like Mach 7.
Oh, Jesus.
So, he goes there, and at great personal risk, he saves the island of San Vaquero from permanent irradiation.
I love that. He like like without a second thought, he slams his freaking thing. He slams the javelin right into the goddamn Earth.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
And, sorry, I just forgot one scene.
Yeah?
Before, after Amanda Waller confronts General Hardcastle about it, he goes, well, we need to kill Doomsday. We were gonna kill Superman. And we gotta do something about the drug trafficking in San Francisco.
Right. That part.
So, I figured 3 birds, 1 stone. And he is just the worst person ever.
Yep.
Seriously, more evil than most of the supervillains. Like, he makes Lex Luthor look like a friggin' Boy Scout.
Yep.
So, and then Amanda Waller dresses him down, but doesn't have time because she's got to deal with the nuking a place situation.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing that's happening.
So, then Batman does his heroics that we did before. So, Superman and Doomsday burst out of the volcano. Superman is losing badly. Martian Manhunter warns Wonder Woman about the missile, and Wonder Woman orders the last ships to leave and goes after Superman. Batman's heroics. So, in San Vaquero, right by the volcano, Superman is losing badly. And seeing that the last people are out, he finds the strength to explode the volcano on Doomsday.
Yeah, like, sure, whatever.
I thought you have to ignore the fact that lava probably wouldn't really hurt Doomsday that much.
I mean, like, okay, here's the thing. It was really cool that what's his name? Superman shot Doomsday in the forehead, and Doomsday took that like the powerhouse that he is.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, Superman has so much damage on him. Superman's getting the shit kicked out of him. And then he just completely turns it around.
Yeah. No, that was stupid.
He's just like blip, 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 blip.
What should have happened,
punches him and like just throws him into the exploding volcano. Just like, whatever. Flip that bitch.
What should have happened is Waller does something to shut down Doomsday.
Right.
Like, she calls Batman. Sorry, she calls the Watchtower. tells them the weakness. It's relayed to Superman via Wonder Woman, and then Superman and Wonder Woman take him out at great personal risk. And then
Right.
Wonder Woman helps Superman out. Like, he's limping out, leaning on Wonder Woman for support or something.
I just can't even imagine. You know, how is this okay? How is I really wish Wonder Woman came in and smacked the shit out of Doomsday instead, you know?
Yeah,
that
no.
would have made a grand total of sense.
Yeah, you're right. That would have been much better. Although we kind of already have established that Wonder Woman is much weaker in the Mongol episode.
Right.
So maybe not.
But, like, it would have made sense because they were both, you know,
They were
worn
both
down
hurt,
at
yeah.
least.
Yeah, no, you're right. So, but I also got the impression Superman was losing more because he was trying to make sure the volcano didn't get set off than because he was that much weaker. I think he was weaker. But yeah, okay. It was stupid. There was a better way, and
I mean,
the
like,
way we do it, Amanda Waller comes out as more of a hero, so
if what happened there, like, I don't know, he tricks him into falling in or something like that.
outsmarts him, yeah.
Yeah, that would have made infinitely more sense.
I think he did outsmart him. He set off the volcano.
Not really. He didn't really outsmart him. He managed to pull it out of his ass.
I thought he set off the volcano on him on purpose. I got the impression that it was
like,
Superman who set it up.
But, like, we clearly saw he was running through the volcano and that it didn't do jack shit to him before, so why should this do jack shit to him now?
Yeah, it was stupid. I'm trying to defend it, but it was stupid. But
I also
it's
really-
a good episode.
I also
I'm kind of
really
willing to
like-
whistle past it.
I really like the fact that they talked about how Batman knew Superman could only go at Mach 2.
No, Captain Atom could only go Mach 2.
Oh, Captain Atom could only go Mach 2?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they said Superman.
No, it was Captain Atom they were sending after the nuke.
Oh, damn. Fuck.
I don't know why
never
Wonder Woman didn't just, like, lasso it and move it somewhere else. Maybe she couldn't.
Yeah, maybe she couldn't.
That's fine. I was willing to accept that only Batman could do it. So, they go... So now,
Yes.
they have Doomsday, and he's somewhat okay, but he's incapacitated. So
Yes.
we can assume maybe Superman just, like, bought some time with the exploding volcano,
Yes.
and then 5 Justice League members ganged up on him, and that's how he was defeated. Just gonna headcanon that so it makes sense. That, like, Superman with that punch just survived long enough that Wonder Woman got to him, and together they managed to fend off Doomsday long enough for Martian Manhunter and
Right.
Hawk and all the other great heroes to come down.
That would have been fucking epic, right? Yeah.
That's my new headcanon.
Yeah.
That's how it makes sense now.
They had to fight him off together.
Yeah, they had to fight them off together.
Yeah.
And so now they're all standing trial on Doomsday.
They're, like, observing him
Above him,
Like-
like Justice
like-
Lords.
like kings, yeah.
So,
They were literally putting him on trial, and it was
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy.
yeah. So Doomsday, they try and interrogate him for information about Cadmus, but he just wants to kill Superman. Boys, you know what they say. Boys will be boys. So, he threatens to kill Superman again before getting sent to the Phantom Zone. And you notice there's an empty chair where Batman would be. The trial, because Batman is in a hospital. He's bitter about the Phantom Zone. He repeats Amanda Waller's arguments, which is so great.
Yeah, like it's clearly affecting him.
Yeah.
You know?
He
clearly,
this is where sorry, yeah, go.
yeah, no, he took from this.
Yeah. Batman learned a lot from this. And that he learned from his mistakes is so great, and that he learns from his enemies. Point. It shows why Batman is a good character. It shows why this show is good. That the characters learn from their mistakes. Like Wonder Woman in Season 1, and I think we can say Wonder Woman is no longer the main character. She was the main character of Season 1, and she kind of completed her arc, and now we've moved on to maybe this is Batman's season, I think. So,
It's interesting because of these episodes, as we'll see in the next one as well. We see very government oriented, or like bad guy oriented. We see from the next one as well. What's the next one called?
Task Force X.
Task Force X,
Which is a Suicide Squad.
Pretty much. What do you call them? Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
It's not exactly, but it's pretty much. It's got a lot of the characters in it, with a few different ones. But this is a keeper episode. This is just like holy shit.
Yeah, this episode's so good. So Amanda Waller, he basically repeats Amanda Waller's arguments, and when he does, Superman tries to make his joke about the kryptonite, because Batman always keeps a little bit of kryptonite that Superman gave him, and Batman he flips out on him. He goes, "No, you don't get to do that today."
Oh yeah, you don't get to make jokes. Not today.
Yeah.
I took a bullet for you.
It's such a powerful moment.
Oh
The discord in the League and them standing over Doomsday like the Justice Lords.
Yeah. Shit.
Because it's little steps like that lead to the Justice Lords.
Just like what he said, man. I took a bullet for you. I took a bullet for... Like, who can say that to Superman?
Yeah, not many people.
A bullet for you. Oh my god.
So good.
I fucking loved it, yeah.
So, this was written by Dwayne McDuffie, who previously wrote The Once and Future Thing Part 1 and 2.
Yes.
And you can see that same sort of grand gesture, big story in all his writing. I love it. So, Batman leaves and is left alone in the dark. On the television, to close the episode, we see a presidential ad for Lex Luthor. And it's fantastic. If Amanda Waller was the hero of this, I think maybe we would end on Amanda Waller, and she would have to do some serious soul searching.
Yeah,
about
it would
what
be
happened here.
It would be her staring off in the distance, like thinking about
deciding what to, maybe instead of Doomsday there, you would do her standing in judgment of Hardcastle.
So. I mean, like, I really like I just really like the shot in the end. It showed him, like, as well as the fact that, can anyone change the channel of the TV right now? But it was on his eyes. The light was on his eyes, and it was clearly telling you to look there.
Yeah.
It was clearly telling you that, he's in a lot of pain right now, but, like, he's thinking. He has a lot to think about right now. Was he wrong? Were people a threat? What's going on? It's just like, oh my god. That's really good, I guess, like, directing.
Yeah. Everything about this is so good.
It's so good.
So what do you think? I don't think we made that many changes to make Amanda Waller the hero.
All you need is one good episode.
No, I mean, I'm serious here. I think that we retold this story with minimal changes and recast the villain as the hero. That's great storytelling.
Right.
That I don't think we took anything away from the Justice League. Not one of our changes were making the Justice League evil. They were all just making Amanda Waller's character a little more fleshed out, I think. Right.
We really now get an understanding of who Amanda Waller is. And, more so than anything, it might be a bit more human than we originally thought.
Yeah. Would you call her the best villain of the DC animated universe?
I wouldn't know. She's definitely the best human villain. But, I mean, like, you compare to Darkseid and to freaking Lex Luthor. Well, actually, there you go. I just compared to another human villain.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, Lex Luthor keeps getting beat. Amanda Waller almost never gets beat.
Yeah.
I don't think once. And we really see her have a moment, you know, near the end where she's not the villain at all. Do you remember, you know?
Yeah. She really isn't the villain of this episode. Well, she is the villain, but she's never a bad guy.
Right.
And I think there's an important distinction there.
Right. Thank you, Zangief. She's a bad guy, but she's not a bad guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Wreck-It Ralph right there.
Yeah.
Fucking
After all, if I were not there, who would crush Hero's head?
Yeah,
Like little
like
Sparrowegg.
like Sparrowegg between massive thighs. I freaking love that moment where they're all like standing around talking about God knows what.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I mean, just like later on, we still have a lot of things to understand that she's not really bad. She's not really. She's in a seat of power. She's doing what she has to do. You know, she cares about people. She clearly does. But, you know, it's kind of, she's in the wrong. There you go. But, like, to what extent? It's such a hard thing to think about when you can relate to the bad guy.
Yeah.
When you, like, understand what they're doing.
I think for a lot of people who were just a little bit younger than us, this was the first time they'd seen a really complex, brilliant villain.
Herp and the derp.
Yeah.
So, where would you rate this episode, Jordan?
Well, I think you know where I'm gonna rate it.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, you know, we didn't just have that whole conversation before we did this episode or anything.
So, for me, it's 1.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be 2. This is your episode, man.
Yeah.
Jeez. I mean, like, I totally understand. It's got so much. There's incredible action. Well, okay, let me start off. There's good action. There's great character development. And then there's amazing writing.
Yeah.
Just absolutely fantastic writing. Oh my god.
So, the episode that I think has the best chance of dethroning it is actually the next one, though.
I mean, I don't know. Let me think. I gotta think about stuff and things. But Jesus Christ, sorry. I would definitely rate this very high. I wouldn't rate it as my number 1.
Really?
Because what?
I was just surprised. No, continue.
Oh, I mean, like, I wouldn't rate this as my number 1 because, you know, it's not. I don't know. It's got so much that makes it a good episode, but it doesn't have enough that makes it like something that. Let me think about this. You know, it doesn't truly bring out everything that DC has to offer. It brings out an amazing story, definitely, but for like, you know, DC, I want to see a bit more in terms of all the crazy characters interacting with each other. We see a lot of new characters, but I feel like with DC, we want to see these characters that we know and love dish out some crazy shit. We saw Batman dishing out some crazy shit, but we saw Superman getting the shit kicked out of him, and we saw Amanda Waller, this woman who we've started to learn about, we've just started to learn about, do some crazy shit too. So I feel like we needed a bit more heroic, a bit more superheroes, you know? Because like we got a lot of humans and a lot of like crazy shit going on, but that's not a bad thing. But you know, like, why do we watch superhero shows? For the superheroes. So I feel like if it had all this and a bit more, not just Doomsday, you know, because like Doomsday just goes around and punches shit.
You wanted maybe to see the scene where the Justice League all gangs up on Doomsday. And
Yeah, I would have loved that. That would have bumped it up a lot higher.
That would have been good. It would have also explained in a way that horrible plot hole.
Yeah.
So, where do you want to put
Superman's OP. Alright. Yep. For me, this episode would go... I would rate it high. I really would. But, like, I don't know. I'd rate it maybe like... Do you have the listing for me?
Yeah, I shared the screen. If you go to your Skype thing, you'll see it.
Oh, okay. Here, let me go and look at it. Did it really rate Ultimatum that high?
It was a really good episode. I had it ranked number 2 before this now.
Wait, which one was Ultimatum again?
That was the one with the Ultimate, the other episode with Amanda Waller in it.
Yeah. Oh, crazy. Oh, I guess, it really was. It did do a lot well. It did a lot. This episode did. Yeah, it did really well. I think I would put it underneath The Dark Heart.
Underneath The Dark Heart at number 8?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, because once again, what are we doing here, Jordan? We're comparing episodes of an amazing show. I think this is an amazing episode, definitely, but I just liked the other ones more.
That's fine. There's no rubric here that it has to get a certain number of points in each category.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's entitled to their own stupid opinion.
Sure.
You're supposed to laugh. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, but I know you, and you tell that joke all the time. It's like an old friend.
I do?
You don't have to laugh at their jokes.
Too predictable.
What?
I'm getting too predictable.
That's okay. So, let's see. Final thoughts?
I like plot, but I watch superheroes for superheroes. That was one of the things that a friend of mine explained to me. Like, he likes Marvel, but DC is his favorite. Because for Marvel, you have people. Marvel, you really get into character. But for DC, you have superheroes.
I generally like DC better, but I don't know. I always go to these cartoon shows for character. I don't know why. I should like Marvel more, but I'm never too interested in Marvel because their good guys are always questionably good. I want my heroes to be good and my villains to be good. But my villains still to be villains and my heroes still to be heroes. And I think this episode really contains DC at its best.
Contains. Yeah.
That way.
It can. I agree in that sense. I actually feel like I really should do a revamping of the episode listing. Because, once you have things to compare about, once you have more things to compare to, other things sort of get pushed down because you realize one just did a better job at the other. So it sort of discredits them in a way. Yeah.
At the end of the show, we'll re-rank everything.
Right. And really see how we feel about them.
Yeah. And we'll do it. We'll basically have 2 lists.
I could just
our
be
favorite episodes at the time rankings.
Right.
And our favorite episodes
in the end rankings.
Down the line.
Right.
So, I think that'll be cool.
Yeah, that should be a fun little sign-off. All right. Any final words?
No, this is awesome. And next week, get excited. It's Task Force X.
Oh my god. I feel like we should have saved this episode for when Suicide Squad came out. Or comes out.
Yeah. If we had been cool. We can still do that. I'm way behind in posting things.
Yeah, we can post it when Suicide Squad comes out.
Yeah, it'll probably work out that way anyway. When does Suicide Squad come out?
Yeah, because we're really bad at that. All right. So there we go. There's our plan for the future. So everybody, you just wait for that thing to happen because we're great at planning. And you all stay fantastic and beautiful and have really great ears. Because that's the only part that we care about. Oh, and fingers, so you can click us. Yeah.
Only those 2, though.
Yeah. Only those matter.
Bye.
But stay beautiful.